Hey man, say man, it's your boy DAA man, Daalight TV, back at y'all with another one. And on this trip, we got some more Clubhouse audio for y'all that poses the question: is Willie D, the iPhone bandit, and a rat? Well, WACK 100 says hell yeah. What do I say? Well, I'm gonna run the content, and I'm gonna tap in with y'all on the back end with that. Daalight TV, let's get it.
Willie D, you are a rat. You are a swindler. You are a scoundrel. And you are a rat. Let's turn the page to old Willie D. William James Dennis, a.k.a. Willie D, has pleaded guilty to wire fraud charges stemming from his purported sales of Apple iPhones through a company known as Texas One Wireless. United States Attorney Tim Johnson and FBI Special Agent in charge Richard C. Powers announced today. At a hearing today before United States District Court Judge Gray Miller Dennis, 42, a rap music recording artist, admitted to posing as an electronic salesman and using eBay to establish his credibility with international buyers. Once the buyers showed interest, Dennis directed the buyer outside of eBay to conduct sales via email. Numerous foreign individuals placed orders with Dennis, Willie D, for iPhones and other electronics. Dennis required payment to be made electronically transferred to his bank account. Once the transaction was confirmed, Dennis would send tracking numbers for packages that were never shipped. When the buyers complained about not receiving their purchases, Dennis would claim he had filed a complaint with the Postal Service or hired carrier that he could not refund their money until he knew where his goods were. Eventually, Dennis would cease communication with the victimized parties. 29 individuals were defrauded of approximately $132,303 between September 2008 and April 2009. You are a crook, Willie D. Okay, we're going to keep going because this gets interesting. Y'all pay attention. Financial fraud, whenever committed in person or via internet, victimizes individuals, communities, and the economy at large, says Powers. Those who feel these crimes can be committed with impunity will learn that the Houston area Cyber Crimes Task Force, you the first rapper that ever had the Cyber Crimes Task Force on, right, will continue to provide investigation and resources to combat and discourage internet fraud. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Dennis was arrested by FBI agents on May 13, 2009, as he returned from a trip overseas and was indicted on June 9, 2009. Dennis faces up to 20 years of imprisonment to be followed up by a 5-year term of supervised release and maximum fine of $250,000 for the wire fraud conviction. As part of his agreement with the United States, Dennis will make full restitution and or before sentencing. Judge Miller has set sentencing for April 23rd, 2010, 10 a.m. Now watch this. Dennis will be permitted to remain on bond pending his sentence. So 2009 to June, he boom. And then they like, we gonna wait a whole 10 months to sentence you. He's looking at 20 years. Okay, let's go to the next document. Here it goes. Now I'm telling y'all, sit down. Y'all just heard what I read. Rapper Willie D gets prison time for wire fraud. Sentencing 10 months later after he been on the street working. He been on the street pulling up as Willie D from Rap-A-Lot, right? People ain't thinking this is serious because us as street niggas, we don't think about selling some iPhones on eBay and this shit could carry a dub. We don't think about these type of things. That don't add up to us. We think about dope, guns and all this type of stuff. Murder, conspiracy, but it carried a dub. Y'all seen it, right? They allowed him to stay out on bail, the feds, for 10 months before sentencing. We don't usually see that. I'm about to tell you why. Okay, watch this. Rapper Willie D gets prison time for wire fraud. He carried 20 years. Rapper William James Dennis, aka Willie D, was sentenced Tuesday to 12 months and a day in federal prison for the wire fraud. How much telling and lining up did you do in them?
That's a hell of a deal right there.
How much? Listen, Willie, I swear to God, I'm a fan. Ballhead Hoes, all these songs, I'm a fan. What you see, D? What you see? I see some ballhead hoes, hair so short you got to roll it with rice. I'm a Willie D fan. But you are allowing this little dude that even you don't respect, you got problems with, pull you into something, homie, that ain't got nothing to do with you. And he himself, along with Mayor Turner, who wore a wire for 2 years on him and everybody else, 2 of his spots in Fifth Ward, everybody in Houston know what I'm talking about, just got hit. His spot that he owns. Everything you've been doing is being exposed because Mayor Turner ran amok on all y'all. Y'all just finding out Mayor Turner.
And boom, there you have it. WACK 100 holding another paperwork party on Clubhouse that'll likely lead to 0 consequences and nobody getting DP'd, just simply trying to spin the narrative by giving half truths, right? But I'm gonna give y'all the full spill. So, federal law does not specify a minimum prison sentence for wire fraud. You know what I'm saying? The factor that affects sentencing is like the amount of money lost, number of victims, the defendant's criminal history, and the severity of the fraud scheme. You know what I mean? Like, now the maximum penalty for wire fraud is 20 years in prison and up to a $250,000 fine. All right. Now, far as sentencing taking 10 months, while it's uncommon in certain circumstances, sentencing in a federal case can take as long as 10 months. You understand? Like, it'll typically take between 3 to 6 months. You know what I mean? Depending on, the schedule of the court, the complexity of the case or whatever, because there's a whole process that they go through before they actually sentence you. You know what I mean? I know in the state it's called PSI, which is like pre-sentencing investigation. So they pretty much dig up your whole history and then figure out like, okay, you haven't done nothing too crazy. So, because the feds got a point system. You feel me? Now, also, whatever and shit, a person may be able to be out there on bond, even while it's taking 10 months for the sentencing. Because unless they're deemed, a threat to society or whatever and shit, or depending on the severity of the crime, and again, the criminal history, of the person who's about to be sentenced. And I guess, gauging it like, is he a flight risk, etc., etc. They don't really care about you being out because it's more trouble for you running than just actually eating the charge. And this is what I mean, you know what I'm saying, when I say whack, be in these rooms with these so-called street guys who never been through nothing on a state or federal level. So he could throw numbers around, a little legal jargon, and, niggas just be like, wow, that's crazy. Oh, that don't sound right. Ooh, that's nasty word. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these niggas on social media should really read a book. Now, as far as Willie D, while he is a legend of some, the only legend from the Ghetto Boys as far as rap goes, in my opinion, is Scarface. You know what I mean? That's why the thumbnail says Houston legend. You get what I mean? But not just on a lyrical level, but even commercially. Scarface was just better off without Willie D and Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? The Ghetto Boys put out 7 studio albums. Only 1 went platinum and 2 went gold. The rest of them didn't even track. Scarface, however, has 11 solo albums. 3 of which went platinum and 4 of them that went gold. Now, if you Google how many records Willie D sold, you'll see this. So I understand why he might have been out here scamming and shit, you know what I mean? But for a nigga with such legendary status, you would think he would be able to work his way into something with a bigger reward monetarily. But I also think it's funny how Willie D never liked Bushwick Bill, the little person from the Ghetto Boys, but then yet he was the one out here shorting people. And maybe he felt like he deserved to short people because he had to write all the Bushwick Bill's rhymes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't even like that little nigga like that. And now it seems like Jay Prince is forcing him into another situation he really don't want to be in. As far as Wack saying he is snitch though, I don't think it's that deep. You know what I'm saying? Just like I explained to you, the 10-month thing is uncommon, but it's not unfathomable. You understand what I mean? And over here at Daalight TV, I'm not really into putting the snitch jacket on nobody without no paperwork or them exposing themselves like, say, Blue Da Vinci, or just flat out taking a stand like a Troy Ave. You know what I mean? But based on my knowledge of the law, I don't see anything that's super out of the ordinary, like as far as Willie D goes. You know what I'm saying? But it just seems like Wack once again is coming with a whole lot of smoke and no fire. But hey, if you made it to this part of the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And if you're gonna buy an iPhone, buy it from Apple, because you might be shopping with Cap-A-Lot Records. And as always, stay dangerous so you can be safe. It's your boy Daalight, Daalight TV. I'm out.